JB Morrow going, get your bag.
Yes, welcome back, man, to the Ernest Tyera channel. Listen, if you're new here, man, we always ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment. We do comment back. You know what I mean? We appreciate the time that you take to spend the time with us. But nonetheless, this is the Ernest and Tyera show, and you may know, as you see, this is just Ernest with no Tyera. You know what I mean? So you probably, which you already know because you read the title, you know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out what's going on. But this right here is 21 questions, you know what I mean, from my wife to me. You know what I mean? If you know anything about us, me and my wife have been married for 14 years, going on 15 years. We share 3 children together. I have 2 children outside of my marriage from a previous relationship. She has 4 children outside of our marriage from a previous relationship. So that's 9 collective kids that we have. You know what I'm saying? We've been together for an extensive period of time. You know what I mean? And also we spoke on almost divorce that we had within our relationship. You know what I mean? Nothing is peachy and cream with us. But throughout all, love and communication kept us together, and we keep building on that, and we keep getting better from day to day on how we deal with situations. And that's why we decided to bring this channel to you. So this is the 21 questions episode, you know what I mean? And this is my time. So these are 21 questions from Tyera to me for y'all. So let's start right here, y'all. Let's say, when you look back at our almost divorce, what moment scared you the most about losing us? The moment that scared me the most about losing my wife was the fact of understanding that she was serious. I'm pretty sure that anybody in a long-term relationship had the ups and the downs, you know what I'm saying? So you probably make up the breakup, and y'all been through situations like that before. But I think when I really looked in her eyes and saw that she was serious about this situation, it was scary. And it was scary because it was me trying to figure out what can I do to change it. Like, we don't have a relationship where we cheat on each other. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't putting my hands on my wife. I mean, y'all know I ain't doing nothing like that. So I wasn't cheating, I wasn't beating. So I had to figure out, what did I have to do to change it? And I think in relationships, we can't be stubborn. You know what I mean? We can't be stubborn in relationships. And a lot of things in life, we bend for the gain of whatever that thing brings. But in relationships, we seem like we want to stand firm on it. Like, you go to work and you be like, I ain't gonna do this, I ain't gonna do that. But then you end up doing that thing for that said check. You know what I'm saying? So I had to, you know what I mean, kill the ego, man, and understand that there were changes that had to be made on my end. When did you realize your mood swings were affecting the whole household? Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. I didn't realize it until my wife presented it to me. And she didn't even present it to me, which was crazy. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say she didn't present it to me. I think there were times that she kind of brought it up, but upon us, I hope this doesn't go into any of the questions, but upon us breaking up, my wife has a very close relationship with her sister-in-law. Yeah, her sister-in-law and also her mom. So I approached her mom and her sister-in-law, and I asked them, not to the extent of what was going on, but the extent of, am I wasting my time and, you know what I'm saying, trying to fight for my marriage? Like, if she's already gone and moved on, I'm cool with that, you know what I mean? Because I realized I messed up. But if there's anything I could do to fix it, should I know? So both parties actually told me, you know what I'm saying, to keep fighting for my marriage. And they kind of, you know what I mean, alluded to, like, yo, she said that you mean, which was shocking to me. Because, you know what I'm saying, I feel like me and my wife share the same temperament. Maybe I just deal with things, things don't bother me as much as they do her. So, you know what I mean, with them telling me that I was mean was me reflecting back and looking at times where maybe I was a little, you know what I mean, over aggressive, or the emotions of what was going on outside, or the unsuccess, or the long periods of me not feeling like what I was trying to do was working. You know what I mean, I took it on the household. So, you know what I mean, I kind of realized at that moment, you know what I mean, of us separating. What do you think I needed most from you during that time that you didn't know how to give? Love. You know what I mean? I'm born and raised in Philadelphia, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is not an excuse, but inner city, I believe like a lot of inner city, and I'm gonna say urban cultural people, we kind of like don't have an aspect of what love is. You know what I'm saying? So in my head, I was just like, yo, if I ain't cheating, And I ain't doing this. This is me, my way of showing you I love you. But there were things that I was neglecting. There were things that I wasn't doing. You know what I'm saying? I tried to fill in the role of provider, you know what I'm saying, and protector, but it's being a man in the household, it far exceeds that. Being a provider and protector, you know what I mean, you have to do more than that in a marriage. And the one thing I learned about a marriage is that there's always work to be done. There's never a moment when you can just say, all right, we got to this point, we done. There's always work that needs to be done on improving, because as people we change. And you have to be willing and open and also adapting to the change of your opposite partner. So I think that the thing that I wasn't giving the most was love. You know what I'm saying? What was the hardest part about admitting how your entrepreneur struggles affected your behavior at home? Man, the hardest part about admitting that my entrepreneur struggles affected my behavior at home was the fact of, at the end of the day, I still didn't reach the goal of what I wanted to do, but in time I will get there. You know what I'm saying? Is the hardest part about admitting it was the fact of looking back and understanding that I damaged relationships, not just with my wife, my kids too. I kind of like lashed out at them. You know what I mean? My kids and you know what I mean, other people, and I probably damaged relationships, and I had nothing to gain for it. It's not like I got to this $1 million plateau and I was like, well, even though I messed that up, you know what I mean, I got to where I was going to get. So the fact of damaging relationships that ultimately you're doing said thing for, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to be this high and mighty. It doesn't need to be millionaire. I'm just saying, like, that's just the monetary amount that we throw out that people think is financial success. But I'm not trying to be this, you know what I mean, millionaire and look back and have nobody to share it with, nobody to enjoy it with. So the endeavors that I was putting out was for my family's security, you know what I'm saying? So those are the things. That was, you know what I mean, one of the struggles that I dealt with that. What does being a better husband look like for you now compared to 5 years ago? Being a better husband for me now is I'm heavy on communication. Not just communication, but because people say things a lot of times, but you have to sometimes get your partner to understand you. We could say 100,000 words, but if you don't understand what I'm saying, then it's off and not. So sometimes you have to figure out what way is the proper way for me to get my partner's attention and for them to understand what I'm trying to say. And likewise, within them communicating how I'm interpreting that. You know what I mean? Because you have to be verbally open to understand that when your partner comes to you and says, ... you can be like, look, I don't understand what you're saying, or can you better enlighten me? You know what I'm saying? This is what we live in is not a school test, so you don't got to be perfectly accurate on it. You know what I'm saying? But we have to put in the work and time to get what we want to get. So I think being a better husband is me listening, me understanding that everything is not going to go the way that I think it's going to go. Things are going to take time. And that doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, to blow up, get upset, you know what I'm saying, and understand that everything will work out when it's supposed to work out. How can I support you emotionally without feeling like I'm carrying the weight of your dreams? Ooh, that's a good one. You know why I'm going to say that's a good one? Because I think in a relationship, you want the other person to be so involved in the things that you're doing that they play a role in it too. So the fact of, how can I support you emotionally without feeling like I'm carrying the weight of your dreams? That's a great question. One thing I would say like this, I think my wife is great at that. You know what I'm saying? I think she's great at that, because there are times that come up and you be like, man, I don't want to do this no more. I'm done. But you're so far ahead. Like, I always speak on, you don't know what the next day going to bring. Like, you can stop and be one day away from your blessing. You know what I mean? The moment you stop, you can be one day away from your blessing. So, you know what I mean? Keep going on, because you never know what the next day, the next minute, the next second may bring. And I think my wife is great at that, because at times where I feel like I'm diminished and I'm exhausted and I've given everything, she does know how to replenish me and you know what I mean, fill me up for me to keep going. So the support that she gives me, you know what I'm saying, it definitely helps. And I think one thing, I spoke on this before, you have to recognize what the support is. Sometimes we want people to help us in a way we want them to help us, but they're helping us in a way that they can help us. So you got to recognize the support when it comes, you know what I'm saying, and appreciate it. What do you think our kids learn, good or bad, from the way we handle our hard season? I'm going to say it like this. The beauty of it, the gift and the curse of it is this. Our older kids, which step kids, I don't consider my kids step kids. I call all the kids, they my kids. You know what I'm saying? Blood, name, last name or not. You know what I mean? I consider them all my kids. No slight to their father though. But I'm just saying, I consider them all my kids because I'm here. But what do I think the kids can learn? The blessing of that is that the kids didn't know. The only kid that I think knew was my oldest, my youngest daughter. You know what I mean? She knew what was going on because she was the one in the household and she witnessed, you know what I'm saying, the things that was going on. And I think to an extent it did wear on her because she begins to take on a nonchalant attitude where I kind of spoke to her about how would she feel if I moved out the house, you know what I'm saying? How would you feel? And she was like, I don't care. And kind of like when it was getting to that point of me getting to that, you know what I mean, she kind of like did express that she didn't want me to do that. So she kind of went through her stages, I guess, you know what I'm saying, within that. And now she kind of back to normal, you know what I'm saying? So I think hopefully my daughter learned the lesson that, you know what I'm saying, you fight for love if you love somebody. So that's the thing I think, you know what I'm saying? The other kids, they didn't even witness or know what was going on at the time. What's one thing you're afraid to tell me about how you truly feel right now? Oh man, what's one thing you're afraid to tell me about how you truly feel right now? Man, that's a good question. I'm gonna say like this, because of how it was perceived as I was in a relationship. I think the one thing that I might be afraid to like just openly speak about is how certain things that my wife may do may make me feel, because I don't want to be looked at as a monster again. You know what I'm saying? So certain things that she may do, and I'm like, and I might, you know what I mean, I might disagree with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I'm as open to speak on that. I kind of let her go through her emotions now until she comes out of that. You know what I mean? Rather than trying to speak on it in real time. You know what I mean? So that may be one of the things that I don't do. That I'm probably afraid to truly, you know what I'm saying, move in right now. I'm at number 9 right now, y'all. What do you need from me when you feel overwhelmed or discouraged? This is crazy because I'm gonna tell you like this. This is my wife. I think I spoke on this earlier on a couple episodes that my wife has this tough demeanor that she portrayed. You know what I'm saying? And from time to time, she throws that out, like to how she views things. Like I'm not going like I'm super tough. Like but there are times, you know what I'm saying. I mean, there is that I carry myself a certain way. So there have been times where I may have let my guard down, and you know what I'm saying, my wife have said certain things like, I hate a sassy man, or you know what I mean, these soft men, and I'm like, damn, like if I can't be soft or, you know what I'm saying, have some vulnerability with my wife, then who can I do it with? So I think just understanding that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not a robot, that I go through things and it hurts me, and I you know what I mean, I get upset, and I'm not Superman, you know what I mean. I think understanding that I'm human too, you know what I'm saying, and I experience life the same way you do. I may just not show it all the time, you know what I mean. I think that may be something that I can, you know what I mean, that will help me when I feel overwhelmed and discouraged. How can we keep our communication strong so we never get that close to divorce again? Talk. And it's crazy, right? Because I'm gonna say like this, y'all. Recently we went through something, just recently, that we went through something where I think early on, if this situation would have happened early on, it probably would have been an argument. But because I had to figure out how I wanted to bring it to my wife, and she kind of seen that I was kind of reserved in the house, and she gave me that space, I think that, the communication that we have before that helped that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like any other time, she would probably press me, "What's going on? You're quiet. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You're never quiet." And she kind of gave me that space to figure out how to articulate, the words that I wanted to tell her in the way that she can understand it, and not be offended. And once I did, we got to a point of resolution. So I think that, talking and listening and also understanding your partner, will always help you in that. What's one thing I do that makes you feel loved and one thing that makes you feel unseen? Ooh. One thing that my wife does that makes me feel loved is that I kind of bring this up to her. Like, she has this very girlish, very childish, girlish type demeanor at times where I can tell like she's excited or she's comfortable with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we out and she want to go somewhere to eat, ooh, can we go over to eat? Now I'm like, no, we can't do that. Oh, she do like stuff like, oh, we can't do that. So she has like this childish type demeanor when I know, like, you know what I'm saying? And it could be her way of trying to get me to do something because, that's my wife. It works. And one thing that I think makes me feel unseen, my wife is heavily into social media. And even though we not social media babies, you know what I'm saying? She's heavily into that. So that's kind of one thing that makes me feel unseen. Just how dominant she is in the social media. She wakes up on that joint, middle of the day on it. I'm not here when she go to sleep because I'm at work, but she, who knows? She probably takes her to bed. So I think the fact that she's on social media is probably something that makes me feel unseen. Do you feel like you get enough appreciation for the work you put into the family and your dreams? Oh man, that's a hard question because I'm still in the midst of that. I think my wife appreciates what I do. I'm not gonna say that she doesn't. I think that she does appreciate what I do, but I think because we are in a place where we speak openly about what we want in the future, and we're not there yet. The little things kind of probably like go beyond her. You know what I mean? They might go missed because it's not the house that we talked about, or it's not the car that we talked about, or we still doing this, or she may see me out on my days off. I'm still out and about because I'm working on this or I'm working on that. So it's the loss of time, or I can't take her to the restaurant that she want to go because I'm doing this. So I think let me not say I think my wife does appreciate the work I do, but I think the little things that may be putting us in position to get the things that we want, it may go unnoticed because of how we talk about our future, and she don't see those things right now. How did your past relationship shape the way you treated me during our worst moments? My past relationship, which was weird, I'm gonna say it like this. My past relationship, it helped shape the breakup because when I broke up with that person, I didn't feel the same emotions that I did when I broke up with my wife. You know what I'm saying? I think when I broke up with my ex-wife, I didn't go through like this depressional stage and I was, sick and I couldn't eat and I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. With my wife, I went through all that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I lost weight. I'm in here, I wasn't eating nothing, I'm lying to myself that I was alright, and that kind of like really showed me, like, I was like, wow, I must really do love this woman because I never felt like this before in my life. You know what I mean? So it was something that I wanted to fight for because of the way that I felt. So I don't know if like that helped shape the way I treated it, but the emotions that I went through after the fact showed me that, I really do love her. When you shut down emotionally, what's really happening inside that you struggle to put into words? How to formulate my words that are not offensive? How do I figure out how to say this thing so that we can understand it and not have to go through it again? You know what I'm saying? How can we grow from this moment? Those are the things that I do when I shut down and I'm quiet. It's me trying to figure out how can we grow from this moment? How can I verbally communicate this with her that this is a moment that we both share and she doesn't feel like I'm attacking her. What would emotional safety look like for you in this next chapter of our marriage? Emotional safety is something that my wife already provides. I'm gonna say it like this: like I don't smoke, I don't drink. You know what I'm saying? None of that. And um, a portion of that is because I, you know what I mean, I always say like, yo, I got asthma, I don't do that. But like on the real, I don't do none of those things because I identify me and my dad share a lot of the same traits, and my dad has addictive traits, and I feel like the addictive traits that my dad has, and I seen him abuse things. You know what I'm saying? That he probably should not have had. I feel like I share those same type of addictive traits. That's why I never attempted nothing. No smoke, no drink, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, I believe the emotional safety that my wife has for me is that everything that I do, I share those same addictive traits. There's not been a job that I worked that I worked extensive amount of hours till I was done, or a day off come up and I'm trying to do something else and I'm out here doing this and I'm out here where she slows me down. You know what I'm saying? Because of how she's concerned about me overdoing things or overworking things. So I do believe that. And you know what I mean, you might say that that's not really emotional, that's like physical, but I'm gonna say it's emotional for me because that is like me providing for my family is like, you know what I'm saying, something that it is like, I'm not gonna say a safeguard for me, but it's something that, you know what I'm saying, satisfies me. Like if I know that I'm gonna do this and the outcome of this is that my family's gonna be good, I'm cool with that. I'm comfortable with that. So that is what she does for me. You know what I'm saying? She kind of like, I mean, safeguards me, make sure that I don't overdo it. We're at 16 right now, y'all. We only got a couple more to go. What's one thing you wish you could undo in our marriage, and one thing you're proud we overcame? One thing I wish we could undo in our marriage. Well, of course, though, the one thing I wish we could undo, but we did overcome it. Well, no, I'll put it as the thing we overcame. The one thing I wish we could undo in our marriage is, this is crazy, I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say the wedding. I'm gonna say the wedding because I believe that it was my wife's first marriage, you know what I'm saying, first wedding. It was my second. So I really didn't want the bells and whistles, you know what I mean? We did something super duper simple, even though people say we could do it again. It was super duper simple, and I understand that women have this lavish, illustrious dream in their head about how they get married and how it's going to be done. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing I wish I could undo. Even though in the future, you know what I'm saying, my plans for me is to, you know what I mean, propose to my wife and do it again. You know what I'm saying? The big proper way. And the one thing I'm proud of overcoming is that the fact that we're still here. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because she said I remember the date, but January 4th will always remain in my mind because that's the day that she sent me the text message that she wanted to move on. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we overcame that moment and we're here right now, you know what I'm saying? What version of yourself are you trying to become now that we are rebuilding? The version of myself that I'm trying to become now is not just of the patient entrepreneur, but also the instructive husband, the helpful dad, the insightful stepdad or dad on that side as well. You know what I'm saying? That's the version of the person I'm trying to be now. The better businessman. You know what I'm saying? So that's the vision. That's the person I'm trying to become right now. Do you feel like I understand your pressure as a man, father, and entrepreneur? No, I don't. But I don't think that you have to. Like, I can flip that question to you and say that I don't feel like I understand the pressure of being a woman, a mother, or the entrepreneur that you are. But I just have to be here, you know what I'm saying, to support you when you need to support. So I don't feel like you do understand that, but I don't think that you need to, you know what I'm saying? What does forgiveness from me look like to you? And what does forgiveness from yourself look like? Coming out of this, you know what I'm saying, coming out of this situation that we were in, my wife there are times because we don't argue now. We kind of like just talk. We talk it out. So there are times I think that she's aware that, you know what I mean, a conversation may went a certain way, and you know what I mean, she does this a lot now where she'll be like, I'm sorry, you know what I mean, if I did such and such. She's very open to, you know what I mean, her apologies now, you know what I'm saying, because she may sense that a certain situation or a certain conversation went a certain way, you know what I mean, so she's definitely open to that. And What does forgiveness for myself look like? I don't know, because I don't know if I'm at the point where I forgive myself. Maybe if I get to the point of my success where I can take care of my family, that'll be what my forgiveness to me looks like. You know what I'm saying? And to all young men out there, I'm gonna say like this. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Be patient now and put the work in that you got to put in, because I think my patience is fleeing because I'm getting older, and because I'm getting older, I want things done faster because I don't know how much time I have left. You know what I'm saying? So I want things done faster because the fear of, I look around and I see my kids and I'm like, I don't know if they have that dog in them, you know what I'm saying, to get certain things done the way I do. So I want to be the safety net, or put myself in a position that, you know what I'm saying, I can build something that they can carry on. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily have the forgiveness for myself yet, because I feel like at this point in my life, I should have been somewhere where I can, you know what I mean, have my boys doing something and have my girls not worry about things. But life is life, and I'm not there as of yet. I will be. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I've forgiven myself yet because of that. You know what I'm saying? What do you feel like we still haven't healed from, even though we're in a better place? Damn. Wow. What do you feel like we still haven't healed from, even though we're in a better place? The one thing I'm gonna say that we may not have had healed from, is the fact that you forgive but you don't forget, which is, I'm always, and I spoke to my wife about this, like, because of how the relationship was and what was spoke about me, I always have to like walk on eggshells now, because I don't want nobody to, and you know what I mean, and because she talked about I don't know who else she talked about it with, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if she was venting people trying to get insight or whatever, but because she already talked about the incident and the things that I've done to her mom and to her sister-in-law, you know what I mean, I don't want to be somewhere and I may say something that gets taken out of context and like, oh, there he is again, that's the old, you know what I mean, that's the old him. So I think the fact of, and this could be just a me thing, you know what I mean, like, she could probably not even think like that, like, you know what I mean, that she honestly believes that this new version of me is who I am. But I think that, you know what I mean, because of what we went through and how we went through it, the fact of how I handle things now, you know what I'm saying, I have to be very delicate with it. So I don't think I've healed from that I can comfortably go into every situation the way that I may want to. You know what I'm saying? If you could promise me one thing for the next 14 years of our marriage, what would it be? I can promise you right here, I put this on camera right now, that, you know what I'm saying, not even in 14 years, we'll look back on this and we'll be in the places that we want to be in. I can guarantee you that. I can promise you that. You know what I mean? Because I know the work ethic that I have, the patience that I have, and the knowledge that you have, and the smarts that you have. That we'll look back on this video, maybe it'll be 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. But we'll be in the places that we want to be while we look back on the people that we used to be. You know what I mean? Enjoying the life that we want to do. You know what I mean? I can guarantee you that. And I tell anybody that if you put in the work that you're supposed to put in, don't worry about when it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about when it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm talking about seriously putting in the work. I'm not talking about something you just dilly-dallying. I'm talking about you seriously grinding. You putting in the work. If you doing that, I guarantee you, I'll put my house on it. You're going to get what you want to get to. That's a promise that I can guarantee you. That's just how life is. You put in the work, you're going to get, you know what I'm saying, what the work is supposed to give you. You know what I'm saying? And for the people that don't cry about the results of the work that you didn't do. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man. Thank y'all for being here with me, rocking. This has been my 21 questions from my wife. Yeah, I mean, next Wednesday you will get Tyera's 21 questions from me. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for rocking with us, man. The social medias are up. IG, you know what I'm saying? The TikTok, Facebook on the way probably. But until next time, thank y'all for everything. We out of here, y'all. Peace.